They made a grave error when they decided to challenge me. My name is Ethan Morgan, a 38-year-old business consultant with a passion for electronics and self-sufficient living. 2 years ago, I bought a 30-acre ranch outside Austin, Texas, to build my dream of a sustainable lifestyle. The property was rough, overgrown fields, a dilapidated farmhouse, and a barn that seemed one gust away from collapse, but I saw its potential. Fertile land, solid water rights, and just enough distance from the city for peace, yet close enough for supplies. This is the story of how the Golden Meadows HOA turned my quiet life into chaos and how I fought back, turning their scheme into my victory. Since childhood, I've loved tinkering with electronics, dismantling gadgets and rebuilding them, often with upgrades, though my parents weren't thrilled about the occasional small fires. Over the years, I taught myself programming and automation, skills I used to transform my ranch into a tech-savvy homestead. My first project was an irrigation system that used sensors and weather data to water my vegetable garden efficiently, yielding a bountiful harvest. Next, I built a solar-powered chicken coop with automatic doors to protect my flock. I even rigged a system to text me when my goats were about to give birth. The ranch became my haven, where I grew produce, raised animals, and sold eggs and vegetables to locals. I also rented out parts of the land for camping and small events, which brought in extra income. The only road to my ranch, a 50-year-old route, passed through a small area managed by the Golden Meadows HOA, a neighborhood of manicured lawns half a mile away. I wasn't an HOA member, but a recorded easement from the previous owner guaranteed my legal right to use the road. For 2 years, this worked fine. I got along with neighbors like Frank and Eleanor Hamilton, an elderly couple who bought my produce and traded pies for eggs. Frank, a retired engineer, even helped with my tech projects. Life was good, until a certified letter arrived. That Tuesday, covered in hay from installing a new goat feeding system, I found the letter in my mailbox. It announced an urgent HOA meeting about illegal road usage and security enhancements. The vague, jargon-heavy notice puzzled me since my easement was clear. I decided to attend to clear up any confusion. The meeting, held during a spring thunderstorm, was at the Golden Meadows Community Center. My muddy truck and work boots stood out among the polished SUVs and well-dressed residents. Inside, about 20 people sat in rows, including Frank, who gave me a worried nod. Maxwell Bennett, the new HOA president, led the meeting. A tall man in a slick suit, he oozed the charm of a used car salesman. He breezed through routine topics, landscaping, pool renovations, before addressing the ranch road situation. He unveiled plans for Golden Meadows Estates, a luxury development that would boost property values by 30%. A sleek presentation showed lavish homes, a clubhouse, and a massive security gate to control undesirable traffic, a clear jab at my ranch. He called my property an eyesore that hurt the community, announcing a fence and gate to be built starting the next day. I stood, heart pounding. I'm Ethan Morgan, owner of that eyesore. I have a legal easement guaranteeing my access. You can't block it without notice. The room went quiet. Maxwell's smile turned condescending. Mr. Morgan, the HOA controls community roads. Your arrangement is outdated. You can buy an access card for $300 annually. I countered, citing my recorded easement, but Maxwell dismissed me, saying the board had already approved the project. The meeting moved on, leaving me fuming. In the parking lot, rain dripping around me, George Miller, a longtime resident, approached. Bennett's pushing you out for the developers, he whispered. He's done this before, restrictions, code violations, water issues, until you sell. He warned me Maxwell was hiding my easement's validity. That night, I called Olivia Nguyen, a real estate attorney friend. She confirmed my easement was legally binding and advised getting a certified copy from the county. They can't block you, but fighting this could take months, she said. She suggested documenting everything and filing for an injunction, though it might take weeks. The next morning, I woke to the sound of construction. Rushing outside, I saw a crew erecting an 8-foot metal fence and gate across my road, cutting off my access. Workers brushed me off, saying they were just following orders. Maxwell arrived, smugly waving a supposed permit. "This is HOA property," he said. "Pay $3,000 for an access card, or wait a week for approval." I was livid. "This is illegal. I have an easement." He smirked, daring me to interfere, and handed me a temporary 7-day card before leaving with Patricia Lawson, the HOA manager. I drove to the county registry, where a clerk confirmed my easement's validity, recorded since 1972. At Olivia's office, she reviewed the documents and reiterated that the HOA's actions were illegal but warned that an injunction would take time. "They're stalling to pressure you," she said. Back home, the gate was complete, forcing me to swipe the card to enter my own land. The humiliation fueled my resolve. As I studied my property survey, I noticed something. The fence and gate encroached slightly onto my land. This could be my leverage. The discovery that the HOA's gate encroached on my property was a game changer. I spent days poring over Texas land laws and my property survey, confirming that about 3 feet of the gate's mechanism sat on my land due to a surveying error. Olivia, my attorney, explained that I could legally control any structure on my property, giving me a powerful advantage. She recommended an official survey to solidify my claim. I called Ryan Cooper, a contractor friend who'd helped renovate my barn. After walking the property line, he agreed, "They built on your land, probably thinking you wouldn't notice." Ryan and I hatched a bold plan to build my own toll booth on my property, right beside the HOA's gate. With my electronics expertise, I could create an automated system to charge for access across my land, mirroring their tactic. "We need to move fast," Ryan said. "They'll try to stop us once they know." Over the weekend, while the HOA office was closed, we gathered materials, lumber, electronics, solar panels, and worked with 2 of Ryan's crew and an electrician friend. Under floodlights, we built a sturdy toll booth with a barrier arm, payment terminal, cameras, and signs reading, "Private toll road, $20 per crossing, $100 monthly pass." By Sunday morning, it was operational, powered by solar panels to prevent sabotage. As Golden Meadows residents returned from weekend trips, they faced my toll booth with confusion. I stood there, dressed professionally, explaining calmly, "This road crosses my property, and since the HOA charges for their section, I'm charging for mine." Most paid, needing to get home, though some argued. I pointed to my posted survey and invited them to call the police, confident in my legal standing. By afternoon, word spread, and residents snapped photos. At 4 p.m., Patricia Lawson drove up, stunned. "This is illegal," she shouted, calling Maxwell. He arrived, furious, accusing me of blocking a public road. I countered, "You said it's private when you built your gate. This is my land, per the survey." He threatened police action, but I stood firm, citing my attorney's advice. Officer Ramirez arrived, reviewed my documents, and declared it a civil matter. "Mr. Morgan's on his property," he told Maxwell. "Dispute the boundary in court." Maxwell fumed but had no immediate recourse. The HOA called an emergency meeting, painting me as a troublemaker. They hired William Davis, a real estate attorney, who sent a threatening letter claiming I violated ordinances. Olivia dismissed it as baseless intimidation. My toll booth kept running, earning thousands in days. Residents grew frustrated, not with me, but with Maxwell for escalating the conflict. Many questioned paying twice to access their homes. The HOA tried sabotage, cutting power, foiled by my solar setup, sending inspectors, my booth met codes, and claiming I needed business permits. Olivia argued it was a property access fee. The dispute became a local sensation. Nancy Fletcher, a respected resident, challenged Maxwell at meetings. "Why are we paying legal fees instead of removing the gate?" Zoe Sullivan, a reporter, interviewed me for the Austin Chronicle. My explanation, that I just wanted my legal access, resonated. Her article went viral, exposing Maxwell's tactics and earning sympathy for my cause. My toll booth became a tourist draw, with people taking selfies. Maxwell doubled down. My cameras caught him, William Davis, and another man vandalizing my booth at 2 a.m., damaging the terminal and spray painting cameras. Backup cameras I'd hidden recorded everything. I filed charges for trespassing and property damage, sharing the footage with police and Olivia. Maxwell denied involvement, claiming I staged it, but my cloud-stored evidence was undeniable. With Ryan's help, I rebuilt the booth stronger, adding motion sensors and a sign, special fee for Maxwell Bennett, $1,000 per crossing. I posted the vandalism video online, sparking outrage. Residents confronted Maxwell at another chaotic HOA meeting, furious about his actions and the legal risks he'd created. I dug deeper into Maxwell's motives, uncovering his financial ties to Platinum Ridge Developments, the company behind the planned estates. He stood to gain commissions by forcing me to sell, a conflict of interest he hid from the HOA. Olivia found he'd falsified the gate's permit application, omitting my easement to avoid scrutiny. A leaked email revealed his plan: once Morgan can't access his property, he'll sell cheap. Armed with this, I invited Maxwell to a peace negotiation at Olivia's office. He arrived late with Davis, exuding arrogance. I offered to dismantle my booth if the HOA removed their gate and guaranteed my easement. Maxwell scoffed, boasting about outlasting me in court and manipulating the HOA board. Unbeknownst to him, we recorded everything legally, with a posted notice he ignored. The recorded meeting was my trump card. I released the vandalism footage, Maxwell's emails, evidence of his developer ties, and the negotiation recording to social media, HOA members, and Zoe Sullivan. Her Austin Chronicle expose, detailing Maxwell's conflicts of interest and deceit, exploded online. News outlets amplified the story, painting Maxwell as a bully. The HOA board, under pressure, held an emergency session. Residents demanded Maxwell's ouster, furious at his lies and the legal mess he'd caused. Patricia Lawson sat quietly, likely planning her exit. Within days, Maxwell was fired, facing my civil lawsuit and potential vandalism charges. William Davis stepped back, wary of his own recorded involvement. Nancy Fletcher became interim HOA president and acted swiftly. The board voted to remove the gate, recognize my easement in writing, and cover my legal fees and booth damages in a settlement. Platinum Ridge Developments abandoned the project amid the scandal, and a conservation trust bought the land, preserving the area's rural charm. Maxwell's defamation lawsuit against me flopped when he couldn't disprove my evidence. He took a plea deal for the vandalism, paying restitution and doing community service. I used the $15,000 from my toll booth to start a land rights defense fund to help others fight HOA bullying, turning Maxwell's scheme into a force for good. I hosted a barbecue at my ranch, inviting all residents except Maxwell. It was a celebration of unity, with neighbors relieved the toll war was over. I announced plans to turn my ranch into a community agricultural education center. Frank and Eleanor Hamilton volunteered, Frank to teach kids electronics, Eleanor to lead gardening classes. Other neighbors joined, offering skills for workshops. The ranch transformed into a hub for gardening, farmers markets, and DIY automation classes. Local schools brought students for field trips, and the university partnered for research. Maxwell, ostracized, sold his home and left. I replaced the toll booth site with a welcoming entrance of wildflowers and benches, adding a sign, "Never mess with a rancher who builds things and has time to spare." The HOA reformed, with George Miller on the board pushing transparency. I helped neighbors install solar and irrigation systems, and my online farm automation guide gained traction among small farmers. The booth's parts found new life, the barrier arm in a playground, the solar panels in educational displays, the cameras monitoring wildlife. Zoe's article won a journalism award, launching her career. This ordeal showed that greed-driven individuals can't outlast united communities. Golden Meadows property values rose, not from luxury homes, but from the vibrant farm next door. If you face an HOA bully, document everything, know your rights, and get creative. My ranch, once a battleground, is now a place of connection, where neighbors learn and share. The fence meant to divide us is gone, replaced by open gates that welcome all.